From Saigon, Long Bin, Bearcat, Da Nang, Cu Chi, Pleiku, Lai Kay, Chu Lai, Phu Cat, Van Rang, and Cam Bay in Vietnam. From Guam, Wake Island, and Clark Field in the Philippines. From the USS Ranger and the USS Coral Sea on Yankee Station in the Gulf of Tonkin. And from Korat, Udorn, Tak Lee, Uban, Nakhon Phanom, and Bangkok, Thailand. The Bob Hope Christmas Special, starring Raquel Welch, Barbara McNair, Elaine Dunn, Madeleine Hartog Bell, Miss World, Bill Crosby, Earl Wilson, Les Brown and his band of renown.
We knew it was going to be an unusual trip right from the start. Les Brown was on time. At 10:05, it was wheels up and out across the Pacific, 8,000 miles to Thailand. Our first stop was with the men of the 8th Tactical Fighter Wing at Uban. As you can see, these are dedicated men. You can also see what they're dedicated to. We didn't have to worry about the sense of humor here. Look at this sign from one lonely GI who's headed for home in 76 days.
Hey, y'all! Sawadee, all you pooch eyes.
I don't know what that means, but it played very big at the bathhouse.
Very thrilled to be back here at Uban, Royal Air Thai Air Base. The gateway to Uban Ratchathani. Is that a word or a booby trap? No, we're at Wolfpack, the world's largest distributor of MiG parts. This base has a wonderful location right between Laos and Cambodia, two of our stronger allies. Those fellas in the back there with the go-to-hell hats are from the Australian Air Force. They're the guys who go around putting kangaroo stencils on everything. I woke up this morning with a pouch on my pouch. And I must say the Thais are probably the most polite people in the world. When they greet you, they bow and put their hands like this. I'm glad somebody finally explained that to me. I thought they were praying for my act. We've been invited to do another command performance at the Palace again, and I think it's wonderful. This is the 4th time the King has invited us. He keeps hoping we'll bring back the towels. And Bangkok is Les Brown's favorite city. No wonder. Where else can you be knighted for playing the saxophone? And the average Thai eats 365 pounds of rice a year. Same as the White House. By the way, the president told me to give you your best. They just had the wedding then. He told me to give you this for him. That's all you need over here. More rice, huh?
At the close of our 2.5-hour show, 100 mission pilot Lieutenant Fred McCoy of Sheboygan, Wisconsin, presented us with a gift for a great entertainer who couldn't be with us this year and whom we all miss very much, Jerry Colonna. No time for loitering. It's 2 a day today. Let's zoom up to Udorn, where even the Republicans turned out to greet us. What an audience. And what a welcome they gave to the most beautiful girl in the world, the new Miss World, Madeleine Hartog Bell of Peru.
welcome, Miss Bell, and ring-a-ding-ding. You see, Madeleine, that's a hip expression, meaning,
You don't have to explain, Bob. I am not exactly a square.
Yeah, you hardly fit into that category. But really, Madeleine, I haven't heard a reception like that since I stepped off the plane. Of course, they thought I was a replacement. You know, it's just a wild hunch, but I get the feeling that these fellas are wild about you.
Bob, you mean all that applause is for me?
Well, if it's for me, this whole base is under arrest. You come from a large family, don't you, Madeleine?
Yes, I have 6 sisters and 1 brother. What about you, Bob?
Well, I have 5 brothers, 1 sister, and 1.
And what?
I don't know. We're waiting for word from the draft book. Madeleine, these men are all technicians out here, and I'm sure they'd be interested in your vital statistics. Let me handle it for you, men.
Well, I am 5'6" and weigh about 8 stone.
You weigh 8 stones.
Yes.
Is that right? What a wonderful way to get stoned. Now, tell us more, my doll.
Well, my measurements are 35, 23, 35.
Steady, steady, just your name, rank, and serial number. Not your secret weapon.
You know, Bob, I never realized it before,
What, honey?
but we're almost the same height.
We are the same height?
Yes. Why don't we stand close together and see who's taller?
Mm-hmm.
Who's taller?
Hmm?
Who's taller?
Who cares? And now let's jump from Udorn to Da Nang, the hot spot on the northeast coast of Vietnam. If you think you're confused, you should have seen what security did to us. We changed directions more often than a burp in a wind tunnel. The 3rd Marines have seen a lot of combat, and they needed all their experience to find a place to sit on this hill. Here in Da Nang, it was strictly CRO, climbing room only. Look at these cats. They're lying with their bodies under the stage and their faces staring up at them. Here I am at Da Nang, better known as Dodge City. Yes, sir. Da Nang is one of my favorite stops, and I mean stops. Go any further and you're in Kong country. And the guys love it here because Da Nang has such a wonderful location. It's so handy to downtown Hanoi. And I want to tell you, folks, these Marines are really tough. I asked one guy if he'd seen... Yeah, you're tougher than I thought. They're really tough. I asked one guy if he'd seen John Wayne, and he said, "John Wayne, who's she?" And their motto is Semper Fidelis. That means, oh, don't worry about it, Doc. Just nail it back on. There's some guys that never made it up there. Come on down. I don't think they're on our side, are they? Nice lot you bought. No, the Marines here would go over the hill if it wasn't for one thing. The Marines on the other side of the hill went over the hill to get over here. If you can work that out, you're ready for Section 8. But these Marines have a great history. They've landed on more beaches than Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello. No, I go way back. I go way back with the Marines. Wake Island, Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima. I saw all those pictures. Now, man, I bring you great news from the land of liberty. It's still there. You may have to cross a picket line to see it, but it's there. But don't worry about those riots you hear about in the States. You'll be sent to survival school before they send you back there. And you get the college scores over here. You've heard the results of the big game, UCLA 21, Dow Chemical 12. Now, Dow Chemical just got even with the students. They came out with an asbestos draft card. Can you imagine those peaceniks back home burning their draft cards? Why don't they come over here and Charlie will burn them for them? And everything's going up at home, prices, taxes, and miniskirts. Miniskirts are bigger than ever. Even some of the fellas are wearing them. Don't laugh. If you'd have thought of it, you wouldn't be here.
I thought I did great till Elaine Dunn came out. She was a hit without a note of music. Her zipper broke. Why didn't I think of that? And now it's back to Pasadena, California for the Rose Bowl parade. Would you believe Takli, Thailand? Would you believe this sign? This is no time for sulking, not with this house full of kerosene burners. Captain Neely Johnson has just returned from his 100th mission over Vietnam. And he's introducing me.
Hold it, hold it. Gentlemen, I just finished my 100 today, and I can think of no better way to celebrate than to introduce Mr. Bob Hope.
Listen, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have introduced me than the guy just finished his 100 missions. What do you think about that? Johnson. Captain. Wonderful. Captain Johnson, right there. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Takli, the megalopolis of the boondocks. I don't even know what that means. Now, Takli, I never thought we'd be playing in this fungus patch again, but here we are. No, I found out a way to beat the heat. Salt tablets. Isn't that it? I've taken so many tablets that when I sweat, I throw it over my left shoulder. There are two kinds of pilots here, the U.S. Air Force and Thailanders. You can watch a plane land and tell who's flying it. The Thailanders use the runway. Our pilots like to ad-lib after a couple of shots of Mekong. They come in without the plane. Now, Thailand is our strongest ally in the Southeast Asia. It must be. Our embassy here still has windows. And this country's never been conquered. No wonder. Nobody can get through that traffic. The native name for Thailand is Muang Thai, which means land of the free. The guy who thought that up never tried to buy anything in Bangkok, I want to tell you that.
This is a rough spot in the program for me. I can't figure out if the audience is applauding me or welcoming Raquel Welch on stage.
Travel to the beat of a different drum. Oh, can't you tell by the way that I run? Every time you make eyes at me, oh, you cry and you moan and say it'll all work out. But honey child, I've got my doubts. You can't see the forest for the trees. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not, and it's just that I'm not in the market for a boy who wants to love me. Yes, and I ain't saying you ain't pretty. Oh, goodbye. I'll be leaving. I see no sense in this crying and grieving. We'll both live a lot longer if you're gonna live without me. If you can't live without me. If you think you'll live without me.
First visit to Camp Bearcat in Vietnam, although the Congas dropped in several times. You can see they had the welcome mat on. We paid our respects to the Army Canine Corps. These are tracker dogs, and they're harmless. Well, they said they were harmless. I feel like somebody's breakfast. Here we meet a few of the Thai troops now in Vietnam. They're members of the Queen's Cobra Regiment, fresh from a victory against the Cong. The young major is the son of the Prime Minister of Thailand, Phnom Kittikachorn. So much for the social notes from the Far East. Let's attack the men of the 9th Infantry Division.
Hey, you Bearcats. Oh, you Bears. Thank you, Joe Martin. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, men. Merry Christmas. We're here with the 9th Infantry Division at Camp Martin Cox. We're 20 miles east of Saigon, or at least we were when the show started. Over here, you can never be sure. This place has never been attacked until today. The Cong would like to attack this place, but they can't. Everything's off limits here. And the 9th Infantry Division are known as the Old Reliables. Funny, I thought that was mouthwash and penicillin.
To show off one of my favorite pupils, Elaine Dunn. She certainly catches on fast, doesn't she?
I like the likes of you. I like the things you do. Looks like I like the likes of you.
I like your eyes are blue. I think they're blue, don't you?
Be blue if you want them blue, baby. I'll take that. I have to stay up all night and die.
Oh, dear, if I could only say what I mean. I mean, if I could mean what I say. That is, I mean to say that I mean to say that.
I like the likes of you.
Your looks are pure love. Looks like I like the likes of you.
And now it's up to Pleiku, to hill country. If it's hill country, why don't they get those choppers up? They claimed we were skimming 6 feet off the ground to avoid snipers. First chopper I've ever seen with curb feelers. 4 years ago, this was Pleiku. All they had was a captain and 2 platoons of monkeys. This is what it looked like this year. These pictures aren't for you, they're for Ho Chi Minh in case he's got any questions. I better get on stage, they're playing my song.
Here. Ooh, what a hot hill. Well, here we are at Pleiku, Vietnam, just about 25 miles from the biggest Viet Cong base. It's called Cambodia. This is Pleiku, home of the official greeters for weary travelers on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Now, this installation is located at the base of Dragon Mountain. And I want to tell you, the mountain ain't the only thing around here that's dragging. And this is Montagnard. This is Montagnard country. I went up to their village and I really enjoyed it. That's what we need more of. Topless allies. And I love the modern facilities they have here. We asked for the washroom, they gave us 2 shovels. Two shovels marked his and hers.
Let's bring Raquel Welch back out. This isn't for the fellas, it's for me.
All right, everybody back on the ground.
Say, Bob, am I standing in the right place?
Don't worry, honey. If you're not, they'll move the base. Raquel, on behalf of those assembled here, I'd like to welcome you to our little ready room.
Thank you, Bob. I'm most happy to be here and see all these boys.
They were boys before you came out. Now they're old men.
Bob, are these men really so starved for affection?
Oh. Now, they have their sergeants.
Well, why don't we do what Israel does and draft the girls along with the men?
How'd you like our flight from the States, Raquel? Pretty wild, wasn't it?
It really was incredible. A few days ago, I was in a studio in Hollywood doing love scenes with Dean Martin and Jimmy Stewart. And now here I am in Vietnam with you.
How lucky can one girl get? When we snatched you off the lot, you were doing a picture called Bandolero. What's it about?
Well, Bob, I play a young widow who is kidnapped by outlaws.
You're kidnapped by outlaws?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the dum-dum that said that crime doesn't pay? Hey, Jimmy Stewart is great, isn't he?
Oh, yes. And don't forget Dean Martin.
How can I? He leaves a vapor trail. Give us the inside scoop. What do they do when they make a picture with Dean? Lean the camera so it looks like he's standing up?
Bob, that's all publicity. It's just the image he likes to project. You know, like you pretend to be a great lover.
All right, who squealed?
Les Brown, he told me the tiger in your tank was really a pussycat.
Are you going to listen to a man who was turned down for the service because he had 2 left lips? Raquel, you've worked with some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Which one of us is your favorite leading man?
Well, you mean among the young actors like Frankie Avalon or one of the older character types like Paul Newman?
Well, somebody around the age of old Paul, give or take a couple of hash marks.
Do I have a choice of blonde, brunette, or redhead?
You have a choice of thin, faded, or falling.
That's my only choice?
Either that or you walk home. You can't carry her that far, you fool.
Well, Bob, in that category, my choice is you.
There you are, folks, another unsolicited testimony.
Chulai is not one of my favorite places to go for a drive. The mine detectors are working the highway just a half a mile ahead of us. I hope they've got 20/20 hearing. A claymore is not the only way to fly. Here I am being introduced by Silver Star Winter Specialist 4 Mike Esmond of Philadelphia. 12 men of his platoon were pinned down by machine gun fire. He pulled them to safety one by one. You'll never catch him with a picket sign.
Here we are at Chulai, the Malibu beach for losers. Anyway, this space is occupied by our side, isn't it? Huh? That is, today. They trade real estate around here like it was the San Fernando Valley. We didn't play this space last year. It was the Kong's turn. And fair is fair. We didn't want to step on their toes or anything. We're entitled to rotation, too. July has Navy, Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Seabees, and Marines. Here you have a choice of 5 wars. Now, and a lot of promotions are given in the field here. I saw a water buffalo with sergeant stripes. And the holidays are so emotional here. I saw one big tough Marine kiss another Marine. Now, he said, I can't help it. He's my replacement. Hey, we got a bunch of messages for guys at this place from folks back home. I feel like a cut-rate postman. Is C.B. Leonard L. Reistetter here? Where is he? There he is. Hiya, my boy. Hey, I just want to tell you that your mother wrote a letter asking us to do our show at Chulai this year. So all you fellows out there, I just want you to know we're here today because Leonard's mother and General Westmoreland agreed. That's true. Where are you from?
Orange, Connecticut.
Orange? You know, there's a great golf course there. What's the name of that course?
Racebrook.
Racebrook. That's one of the oldest golf courses in the world. I left a little of my vaudeville money there. Did you, Caddy? They're great. Good luck. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
That's Leonard. Thank you very much. Is Sergeant David W. Bear in the audience? B.H.R. Here he comes. What do you know so much about? You send him up or something? Hey, your fiancé wants us to bring you a big hug and a kiss by the prettiest girl in our troop. Hey, is Marlene there? Marlene? Now, let me tell you something. Marlene is our hairdresser on the show. We just want to show you the kind of things that are lurking around backstage. There, give me a little kiss right there, darling. Write your fiancée and tell her you still remember what you're fighting for. Thank you very much. Is Master Sergeant Charles H. Day here? Huh? Hey, Top, I bring you Christmas greetings from your wife, and she wants me to kiss you for her. What was I doing? Sounds like a stomach test to me. Well, a promise is a promise. Well, he's been taking his salt tablets, I want to tell you that. That's all, Sergeant. Don't stand around for encores. Thank you very much. Very good. Is Navy Chief Stephen Cotellis here? Look at this guy. Hey, you're kidding. How are you, my boy? Isn't that great? My boy. I want to tell you.
My name is Stephen Catellis.
Stephen Catellis.
Yes.
Tell me something. I heard about you in Da Nang. You know that? How long you been in the service?
Well, Bob, I don't want to snow you in, but they lost the records.
I tell you what I want to ask you. I know all about your record, and I know that you're how old are you?
Me?
No, seriously.
Well, as I say, I'm hitting 69 now.
You're about the oldest guy in the Navy, aren't you? Huh?
Well, I don't know.
Who's older than you in the Navy? Some of our battleships?
That's right. I think it's, the old Quincy. The old Quincy.
Yes, that's Brigham Young. Yes, I think so. No, but I want to congratulate you, and I tell you something. You're sort of, to me, you're sort of what America stands for, because I've heard a lot about you, and that's why I wanted you to come up here today. Give me a rough idea why you joined the service again.
Well, when I was a youngster, I heard about communism, but it was in a different way.
Yeah?
It was Bolshevism and many other names. Now, today it's communism, and by God, it's still bad to me, and I'd like to see it stop very quickly. I like to see all you boys do your part, and I'm willing to do mine, and let's get them.
Well, I want...
By the way, Bob, now that I snowed you with all this, how old are you?
Why don't you take your seat and shut your mouth? Boy, thank you, Chief. That's marvelous. We're very proud of you. At Lie K, you get down to the nitty-gritty. You've read about it in the headlines. It's right down there in the middle of a rubber plantation. There's a native village past the fence about 40 yards from the show. We took 200 pounds of dynamite and some Claymore mines out of the village this morning. This is the home of the Big Red One, the fighting division we've been playing for, let's just say, 3 wars. These guys have been through 8 major combat engagements in Vietnam. 3,000 of them were committed to action this morning. Most of these men will leave from the show to return to the bunkers. Yet they took time to build this one for the performers backstage. They're sitting out in the open, but we've got a place to hide. Hey, here we are at Lie K. And I gotta be honest with you, I know Likey. Now, it's a real thrill to be here at Lie K, home of the Big Red One. This is quite a spot. I stepped off the plane, I was mugged by a mosquito. And this beautiful spot used to be a rubber plantation till de Gaulle split and went into the sap business. And these guys here are all infantrymen. You remember the infantry? They used to fight all the wars before the Air Force hired a press agent. The highway outside this base is called Thunder Road, because the Viet Cong are always blowing it up. You can always tell when something's going to happen. The white line gets up and hides in the bushes. Yes, sir, but it's great to be back in Vietnam. Aren't you happy to have me back? You thought there was going to be a truce, huh? That's why I'm back. I'm back. You know why I'm back. I'm back for suggesting Thanks for the Memory as Lyndon's campaign song. We worked 2 hours for them and then did another half hour. We didn't want to leave them because we knew what they were headed back to. Here we are flying the bamboo corridor. That's Laos down below on one side of the Mekong River, and there's Nakhon Phanom, just a bow and arrow shot away. Here we did our show for 500 gung-ho Air Force pilots, crew chiefs, and technicians who officially don't exist. If you think war is hell, try winging your way home with a tail full of lead from Hanoi and being listed as a diplomatic secret. Watch these birdmen flip when our swinging canary shows up in the landing pattern.
Blue Cat was a new base for us, and the audience a strange mixture. Half of our 10,000 were the sleek and polished gentlemen of the Air Force, and the other half were the grim grunts, men of the 101st Airborne, who have been dropped in the jungle and fought their way through rice paddies to come to the show. Here's one patrol that just made it back from the boondocks. They traveled 23 miles to give me this shell with their names inscribed on it. They had a Santa Claus for us, and here's what we had for them.
Hey, I understand that you're husband hunting, is that right?
Bob, hunting is such a harsh word. However, I am single, and you might say that I am shopping for a man.
Well, I want to tell you, you came to the right supermarket here. Just happens these fellas are having a clearance sale today. That one down there gives green stamps. That guy, you got a lot to offer, according to my reports. Among other things, you're quite a linguist, is that right?
Oh, not really. I just speak English, French, and Spanish.
Maybe we could establish a little more rapport. Is there anybody out there who can speak Spanish or French? Huh? Out there? What the hell, do you have a springboard there? What was that? What's your name, soldier, and where are you from?
Airman Jenny from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Well, which language do you speak, French or Spanish?
Anything.
He's not a linguist, he's anxious. Go ahead, say hello to Madeleine.
Comment allez-vous? Plaisir de faire votre connaissance.
A little louder. This isn't just for you, it's for the people, too, you know. Do you mind speaking up a little so we can all get in on the whole bit? It's a show, you know? This is not a boudoir. This is we're playing a pasture here for some folk. Let's try and work this out. All right, a little louder.
Vous savez, depuis pas mal de temps, j'ai vu votre photo dans les journaux et vraiment, je suis tellement content d'être ici, juste pour vous voir.
Good night, folks. We're a little late. Man, if I could say hello like that, I'd have been married when I was 6. And the weather was 7. Now it's your turn, Madeleine.
Je suis enchantée de vous connaître. Vous êtes vraiment un très bel homme. Et je peux vous dire seulement, en vous regardant, que vous êtes un très courageux soldat.
Quick, what'd she say? What'd she say?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Well, stop looking and listen a little bit. Go, Madeleine.
Est-ce que vous aimeriez serrer dans vos bras une fille comme moi?
Oh, I couldn't.
C'est pas vrai? Est-ce que vous n'aimeriez serrer dans vos bras une fille comme moi?
I really couldn't.
What does she want? Maybe I could. Hey, listen, let me in on that. Give me something really romantic that I can say to her. Man, you're ready, aren't you? Give me something romantic I can say to her.
Aimez-vous les chiens?
Vous du tout? Qu'est-ce que c'est, Aimez what?
Aimez-vous les chiens?
Aimez-vous
Les
les
chiens.
chiens?
Les chiens.
La...
Aimez-vous?
Do you brush after every meal? Aimez-vous les chiens?
Oh, yes, Bob. Oh.
Hey, fabulous. What'd I say?
Do you like Cocker Spaniels?
MPs, surround this boy with punji sticks. Ah, you're great. With your kind of spirit, we could be in Haiphong in the morning. Thank you very much. I think he did a great job. And how about a little reward for him? Don't you think he deserves it? That's all there is today. That's all right. Hit the road. There's your seat. Just walk across the audience right there. Good. This is probably a spy from De Gaulle. Alan, I think I express the feelings of everybody when I say, I got a crush on you, sweetie pie, all the day and night time. Hear me sigh. I never had the least notion that I could fall with so much emotion. Could you coo? Could you care for a cunning cottage? Anybody got a salt tablet?
Madeline, how do you feel about American men?
Oh, I love American men. They are sweet, kind, and so lovable.
Yeah, true. True.
What country are you from?
I'm from Lower Slobovia. We got a crush, my baby. Here we are getting off at one of our new air bases, Fan Rang. We'd better say a kind word about Colonel Turkey Wilson and his 35th Tactical Fighter Wing. They gave us a Christmas party, free board and room, and one of the greatest audiences in Vietnam. That's Mort Lockman, our director, and my right arm on these trips, explaining why the girls get the most applause. Fan Rang was a banner show for us. The first time in 4 years we were allowed by the Defense Department to do a show at night. You can't see the audience here in the dark, but believe me, they were there. Most of them were on our side. How about that? That's my answer to side of bore. That's from the 43rd Signal Battalion, I want to know. Isn't that great? How about that? Man, you picked the right night for it. Should have a fur collar. I'm thrilled to be here in San Bernardino, I want to tell you that. Where are we? Fan Rang Dang Dang, huh? Also known as Happy Valley. There are other names for it, but this is a family show. The VC will never attack this base by air. Never. It's too complicated. You can starve to death in the landing pattern. They have a lot of different units here. They have the 101st Airborne here. And they're really rugged, these cats. They don't use parachutes at all. They just float in. No road trip would be complete without a Crosby. Here's Phil, the one that can sing.
You're nobody till somebody loves you. Oh, no. You ain't no damn buddy till that somebody cares. I'm here to tell you, you may be king. You may possess this big fat world and all its gold. Gold won't bring you happiness, not when you're growing old. If this world is gonna stay the same, you'll never change it, no way. Just as long as the stars shine above, you ain't nobody till somebody loves you. Find yourself a little body to love.
Very nice, Phil. You really got a voice. I think you've licked the family jinx.
Gee, thanks a lot, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob, isn't that a little silly? We were kids together.
Yeah, I remember now. You were the only one in the crib that shaved.
You know, I remember you when you were only knee-high to Bing's wallet.
Yeah, I know I still can't reach it.
How is the old man?
Gary's fine.
No, I mean the real old one.
Well, he's pretty good, too. You know, he's producing now.
When do you ever stop? What have you been doing lately, Phil?
Well, actually, I've been doing a little bit of acting now, Bob. You know, Dad is coaching me.
Dad's coaching you act. That's like Twiggy coaching the Green Bay Packers.
Come on now, Bob. You can't put down Dad's acting. You know, he's got an Oscar.
Well, he deserved it. Birth of a Nation was quite a movie.
Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, his autobiography.
Hey, you gotta stop knocking Dad. Look at it this way. What would the road pictures have been without him?
Great. Phil, do you ever look at them?
The road pictures? Oh, yeah, it was compulsory. We see them all the time. Dad's, he's got a little complete set of them, you know, in 4mm.
Yeah, well, but 4, you mean 8mm. That's the smallest film made.
No, it's 4. He cut your half off.
When they told me that they expected us to make an arrested landing on a carrier, I knew they were putting me on. They just had to switch us to copters and land us safely on the deck. But when we were 200 miles out over the South China Sea in a ridiculous plane called the C-2A, and the pilot headed for flight deck at 130 miles an hour, I did what any red-blooded American would do. I turned green. Notice that smiling face. You thought I couldn't act. There's Les Brown, and he isn't acting. I was still complaining the next morning when we started our show on the flight deck. Too hot for this. Put that in my trunk, man. That's going to be a big story connected to that, where I was a hero or something. Put that in. Thank you very much. I'm very thrilled to be here on, where are we? Board the USS Ranger. Hey, you all. How'd they get those seats? Are they Republicans? What is that? Even the Jolly Green Giant couldn't hang 10 on this surfboard. Now, this is a great ship for liberty. The other end's in Hong Kong. And for anybody who hates being here on this boat, how'd you like to be here without it? I can't wait to leave this raft because we're going to be launched by catapult. I hope everything goes back into place. Did you see the landing we made on this carrier yesterday? Tell me, were the wings folded when we landed? I haven't been hooked like that since vaudeville. Now, if you see a pair of jockey shorts buzzing the bridge, they're mine. If you hear a few strange sounds now and then, that's what's causing the trouble up there. The radar. The Admiral was kind of chicken and wouldn't turn it off. And now here to take over the show is the Laurence Olivier of Broadway. A great guy and a wonderful vocalist, Earl Wilson.
Thank you, fellas. You know, back in the States, we've heard the civilian and naval experts' opinions of the war. But I've been asked by my newspaper editors to find out the facts from the one man who would really know what's happening out here, the average seaman. So I asked your personnel officer for the enlisted man who'd been stationed on the Ranger the longest. And I'd like to talk to him now. Won't you please step out here?
Okay, Mac, what do you want painted?
Why would I want anything painted?
That's the way it is in the Navy, Mac. We paint it, and if we can't paint it, we polish it, and if we can't polish it, we promote it.
Taylor, this isn't a work detail. I'd like to ask you a few questions. First, what is your name?
Donnelly, William Donnelly.
That's a very famous name.
Well, it should be. I'm the head painter.
You mean you're in charge?
No, I mean I paint the heads.
Bill, if I may call you that, and I'm not too familiar with service insignia, what is your rank?
Apprentice seaman.
Apprentice seaman, but what are all those stripes?
Whip marks.
How long you been stationed on a Ranger?
20 years.
How's that possible? This ship's only 10 years old.
No wonder I couldn't find a hook for my hammock.
And what is your naval occupational specialty?
I told you, I paint.
And what do you do after you paint?
That's a naval secret.
Well, I have a top secret clearance. Answer my question. What do you do after you paint?
I scrape it off.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
You think that's stupid? You're paying for it with your taxes.
They're kidding. They're not going to catapult me off this deck and... They did. And hang on, here we go for another arrested landing on the Coral Sea. They've got the hangar deck all set up for us. Let's go to work.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Wonderful to be here on the Coral Sea, our 51st state. Man, what a ship. This looks like Jackie Gleason's rubber duck. And this ship has a tremendous crew, 1,500 enlisted men, 300 officers, and 12 girls from Hong Kong. But you guys got it made. Fresh air, good food, nothing to do till you get back to San Diego, right? All right, Subic Bay, if that's the way you feel about it. Now, this ship stays at sea for months. It could stay longer, but it has the old-fashioned type of crew that needs recharging. I have a special interest in the Navy personally now because my son Kelly enlisted. It was the only place he could find to hide from the Army. Now, he's an apprentice seaman already. It just shows you what can happen when you have connections.
Those aren't raisins down there. That's our Cameron Bay audience. 27,000 GIs, all in on a pass. It's ridiculous. We should be on percentage here.
Yes, sir. Here we are at Cameron Bay, the Sahara of the Far East. This is what the French Foreign Legion is trying to forget. Now, it's wonderful to be here in this zillion-dollar cat box. I've never seen so much sand. Is that your CO, the fellow with the black eye patch? This is the world's biggest supply depot. It looks like Bobby Kennedy's pantry. This is the home of the 1st Logistical Command. I thought you'd like to know, and it's a very efficient port. In less than 12 hours, 50% of every cargo that lands here has found its way into the black market.
They love me in Cameron Bay. They applauded my every move. Honest. Ask Raquel. She was right next to me on the stage.
Raquel, anyway, here's the way we all feel about you.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel that spring is sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy, ooh, I watch her grin. Make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung. Ooh, baby song. Even when I'm old and gray, this is gonna make me gray today. 'Cause you make me feel so young.
Hey, Bobby, here's how you make me feel. You're an older smoothie, sneaky old Frankie. You are a tribute to the magic of Medicare. You're an older smoothie, crafty old bounder. You're such a challenge to the likes of a girl like me.
Shall we?
Love you.
You feel so.
You make me feel
so.
Raquel Welch.
This is the spot they waited for at every base, our finale, or as the GIs called it, 4 hits and a miss.
Yeah, this is the cart marshal. Well, what have you got to say for yourself?
Well, this is mutiny, and you'll never get away with it. I have friends in the motor pool.
Stop whining, Bob. We're taking over the show.
Yeah, Bob, you're through. This is girl power.
You must be kidding. They came to see me. I'm the star. They didn't come to see you. Isn't that right, fellas?
Any other questions?
Yeah, where can I find the chaplain?
We don't need you, Bob. We can do anything you can do. Show him, Raquel.
Joy are you, flower seekers. I'm very happy to be here with you tourists. Say, what part of Miami is this? We had a wonderful trip over. I want to tell you the military gave us their VIP plane. It belonged to a 5-star general, Pershing.
How can she look like that and sound like Burl? You've had your fun. Now make way for the master.
Will this fellow here kindly step to the rear and let us women lead the way?
We've had enough of his deceptions and lies.
At last we got wise to all his prevarication.
We must defy this uncouth Captain Bligh, this antiquated knucklehead.
We won't carry his hat, no more scrubbing his back,
No more serving his breakfast in bed.
So will this fellow here kindly step to the rear and let us women lead the way?
Alone from night to night you'll find me, too weak to break the chains that bind me. I need no shackles to remind me I'm just a prisoner of love.
What a ham. His makeup kit weighs more than he does.
6 hours out and we had to turn back because he forgot his eyebrow tweezers. Hey, Barbara, how did he get you to go on this trip?
He promised me I'd get to meet royalty. He let me walk his dog, Prince. What about you, Madeleine?
He said he showed me the most famous old ruin in the world. He gave me a picture of General de Gaulle.
He said he'd introduce me to all the greatest philosophers of the Orient. He took me to a fortune cookie factory.
He told me I'd be treated like a star. I was. He kept peeking into my room with a telescope.
Don't blame me for things that have happened to you, for I am the king and you are just peasants. So don't bug me.
Some king. I'd like to crown him.
Oh, he is related to the nobility.
Really?
Yeah, his great-grandfather was in charge of goose pimples for Lady Godiva.
But he is the greatest comedian in the world.
How do you know?
It says so on his bathrobe.
A little tear, and I sent it over, and she does sewing on the side. She picks up a little lawn money for laundry and little things like that. Don't you? Oh, my God.
Well, let's be fair. He really is considerate.
That's true. When he found 4 scorpions in his room, he gave 1 to each of us.
They're crazy about me. Tell the fellas you were kidding.
Oh, they know that, Bob. We've loved every minute of this trip. It's been the greatest experience of our lives.
We dug the train, adored the name, and at July, we loved the game.
But what gave us all our biggest bang was
just being here with you.
Enjoy Saigon and Thailand, too.
Everything. Oh, what a view.
And even that jungle round play cause we love being here with you. Yes, flying in those choppers, cobras that were whoppers, gave us all a great big boot.
Kong and black pajamas, daily melodramas, each one of you, we all salute.
It's been a ball. We thank you all. You made our troop feel 10 feet tall.
We hope that we don't get another call. We love being here. Hope it's over next year. Love being here with you.
Look at those smiling faces. You want to know what they're doing? They're listening to our C-130 pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas M. Sumner, explaining that the landing field at Cu Chi is only 2,600 feet long, but not to worry because they can usually make it. They're also being warned that in case of forced landing, please stay in the plane. We have plenty of ammunition on board. Here we are with the 25th Division. Their motto is, if it moves, shoot it. Watch me stand still during this monologue.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Very happy to be back here. At Cu Chi. Cu Chi, that's Vietnamese for you want it, you can have it. Our pilot had no trouble finding this place. He drinks. The return of Packy East, huh? You know what that's about, don't you? That's from Cleveland, Ohio. That's when I fought for a few minutes. Yeah. You Cleveland guys put that up. You remember the way I fought? I used to fight under the name of Rembrandt Hope. I was on the canvas so much. Whoever put that up, I'll get him. I'll get him after the war. The insignia here is Tropic Lightning, and that's what they look like when rotation time comes around. And we have the 101st Airborne here today. The only outfit in Vietnam that travels by yo-yo. You can always tell helicopter pilots they're the ones that are still doing the Watusi a half hour after they land. Every time Barbara McNair stepped on the stage, the audience was hers and hers alone.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me. Someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. And somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of. Long before I knew someone warm like you could make my dream come true. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have something I know won't desert me. I'm not alone anymore. For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. Long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me. For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. Long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once I can feel that somebody's heard my plea. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
Leaving Cu Chi, they held us on the runway for a half an hour when sniper fire was reported at the end of the runway. Combat patrols cleared the area, chased the critics out of there, and we were off for Korat, Thailand. Seemed like all of the 388th Tactical Fighter Wing turned out to welcome us aboard, and also Major Dave Wilson back from his 100th mission. Here's Dave taking the traditional header into the officers' club pool. And here I go in a Thai pedicab on my first mission.
Beautiful, beautiful. You couldn't take me right to Pomona, could you? Don't get any laughs. Get off. That's my man. Give my man a big hand. That native. Yes, sir. You're reaching out for money from me. You could have your hand chewed off. Karat Chrysler. They'll love that, won't they? Ah, that may mean another year. You can't tell. Anyway, I want to tell you, I'm happy to be here in Korat, Thailand's answer to Peyton Place. And I want to thank our president for doing our warm-up here. And you can tell LBJ's been in Thailand. The big moat in front of the palace is now a barbecue pit. But it's wonderful to be back in Thailand. We had to come back to Thailand. The band needed another bath. I'll never forget Thailand. I made the mistake of drinking out of the klong. A klong is what they call a canal here. If you live on a farm, they have another name for it. I went fishing out of my hotel window and caught 2 Pu Yings and an MP. And here's the show I still don't believe. The largest GI audience I ever played to. The nicest Christmas present we ever got. Some say 30,000, some say 28. You count them. I'm going out to grab them before I lose a single one. Merry Christmas. I just want to tell you it's great to be back here in General Westmoreland's ranch. General Westmoreland went to see the president. I guess it didn't work out. He's back. And this base is loaded with brass. One PFC spent his whole tour of duty trying to salute his way out of the washroom. They don't have this many stars at the Academy Awards, and there's just as much jealousy. But enough about my problem. Now, Vietnam is less than half the size of California and the same shape. So why doesn't Ronald Reagan come over here and straighten the whole thing out? But this is Christmas Day. I tell you, it's a wonderful thing here in Vietnam, and there's a great holiday spirit. This morning, a perfect stranger handed me a gift beautifully wrapped. I can't get over the way he tied the fuse into a bow. Vietnam is the only place in the world where you can get a Purple Heart opening your Christmas presents. And Santa's afraid to come to Vietnam. Last year, he only got as far as the first hoe, and he was picked up by the MPs. At least once at every base, we have to get the audience in on the act. Don't just sit there. Get up and wiggle. After the show, the man, all 4 stars, General Westmoreland, came up on stage.
Bob, I want to thank you and your talented troupe for a wonderful show. There's this very distinguished gentleman in the audience who has seen Bob's show for 4 years. At this time, I would like to introduce the Vice President of the Republic of Vietnam, Nguyen Cao Ky.
I would like to take this opportunity to express to all my fellow fighters, on behalf of my people, my country, our gratitude. We know how big your sacrifice. We know how big your dedication. I'm sure the generation of Vietnamese today and those to come will remember you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you.
Vice President Xi presented me with a turban and robe. How about that? Liberace, eat your heart out. Then we were joined by the Vietnamese ladybird, Madam Key. And here's our ambassador, Ellsworth Bunker. And next to him, the very lovely Carol Lace Bunker, our ambassador to Nepal. And one of my favorite golf pigeons, our host for the day, General Bruce Palmer. Clark Air Base in the Philippines wasn't on our schedule, but there's no saying no to Colonel Bob Gates. They sent out 8 interceptors to escort us in or shoot us down. After a very warm greeting from General Ben Davis and his charming wife, we did a quick show in the airstrip, paid our respects to the patients at the Clark Base Hospital, and 8 hours later, we were on stage in Guam doing our last show. Our last show stretched a half hour, as usual. I don't know whether the Guam Maniacs are the greatest audience in the world, or we're the greatest hams and just hate to get off. This is the last stop on this particular tour, as you know. We're headed back home after 2 weeks, and I know everybody has great memories of this tour. There's a lot of people connected with this show, all these technicians, all these people who are volunteers, and we're very proud of. They do a marvelous job. All the sound boys down here, Dave Forrest and Mike Thornton and all these guys. Woody Marks here, and all these fellas. And I want them, I wish everybody backstage would come out here. Come on out here, Pat. Come on out here, Bill Larkin. Come on out here. There they are. Mike Michelin, Barney McNulty, Marlene, our hairdresser, Ron Warren, our newest slave, Annie Morrow, it's her birthday, Charlie Solomon, Earl Wilson, Les Helena, Elaine Dunn, Syl worrying about the schedule, Miss World, Joan Moss timing me, Fred King, Johnny Pollock trying to hear, Barbara McNair, Colonel Red Beasley, our fearless leader from the Pentagon, Sugar Daniel, Raquel Welch, and Pat Curtis trying not to look like her husband, Al Borden, Phil, Clean Ray Brannigan, Earl Elwood, Stash Larkin, and Doc Myron trying to steal the camera. At Guam, as at every other base, we close the show with Barbara leading us in Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
Have a Merry Christmas and God bless you. Bye. Well, that's about it. I wish I could have bottled this group, but they have to get back to the store. If there's anything an actor hates, it's losing an audience. I hope this one is real careful. There we go. There's a few of the faithful waving goodbye before we start the long trip home. It's been a great Christmas. I know there are millions of Americans who would have liked to share it with us. And there's a lot to remember, a lot to think about. Memories of the people and the faces that will stay with us a long time. I want to thank the Defense Department and my favorite travel agency, the USO, for helping to make it possible. I also want to thank the Chrysler Corporation for their generosity and thoughtfulness in giving up their commercials so we could show you more of our fighting men. And before I forget, I want to thank all of my fellow gypsies for a great job. This was an ambitious trip. 22 bases in 15 days. Colonel Red Beasley of the Pentagon really laid one out this year. You know, people ask us why we keep making these trips. Maybe this in part answers their question. They even fought to get in to see us. How about this kid with a cap on his lens? You'll probably sue the drugstore when the film comes back. The big topic of conversation here is how many days you got left. Most of these kids have it tattooed on their eyeballs. You work for these kids and hear the laughs and applause, and you really forget there's a war going on. Then you visit the hospitals and you're brought back to reality.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Joel Palomar, PSC.
Where are you from, Joel?
Rock Point, California.
We're sure glad to see you. My name's Phil Crosby, and this is Elaine Dunn, and we're with the Bob Hope Tour. I want to wish you a happy New Year and a speedy recovery. How do you feel, all right?
Oh, I feel all right. I feel great.
What's your unit and everything?
1st Battalion, 3rd Marines.
A Marine? About as tough as you can get, isn't it? Huh?
The thing that impresses you about these patients is their wonderful sense of humor. They amaze you the way they look up at you and smile. Maybe they're doing it to keep up our morale, and we can use it when we walk into these hospitals. Here's Les Brown and one of our heroes. They took this jagged 2-pound steel slug out of this boy's hip. They got this boy right through the pocketbook. Too bad it wasn't Bing's wallet. He wouldn't have been scratched. Say it again.
Indiana.
Indiana. Sounds like Hoagie, doesn't it, Les? Can I do? Come here, doctor. Come here. I want to talk to. I want the doctor to tell me about this. What happened to this boy? Lean down in
He
there.
had multiple fragment wounds from a mine or a mortar, and got an artery lacerated on the right, and he's been repaired and doing great. Everything's coming back.
Isn't that nice?
He'll be all right.
Well, that's wonderful. And you be back there in Indiana, huh? Yes, sir. Well, they did pretty good. They're going to the Rose Bowl, you know. So get well, and you wonder why some of these kids are still smiling. Well, these are the lucky ones. A lot of their buddies didn't make it at all. This war gets bigger every year, and as the war gets bigger, the casualties mount. The Fighting 4th Division here at Pleiku now has its own memorial, and it's inscribed, "I cannot think of them as dead, who walk with me no more. Along the path of life I tread, they have but gone before."
Come back next year when our country and our people will have peace back, freedom, and independence.
Wouldn't it be great if this came true? A lot of people are praying that it will. This year we missed 2 men who brought comfort and solace to our troops. His Eminence Cardinal Spellman and Billy Graham, who has been grounded temporarily. We hope he'll be back soon. But there's no lack of men of good faith. Despite the millions of words that have been spoken and written, we know there are no easy answers to this conflict. But an answer there must be. Somehow we must get through to Hanoi in one way or another that is all such a waste, that it's better to build than to destroy. There are now some faint glimmers of hope, a few telltale signs that reason may yet prevail. We hope and pray that before too long, the peace for which we're all yearning will become a reality. With God's help, this will be the year. We had a great Christmas. Thanks for the memory.